Yeah. Hair flip, yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip, yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. And hair flipping on these toes. Hi. Hello everyone, and welcome back to your boy Sean Davey Way. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe on the way in. Tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today we will survive Hollyweird and talking about adult stars who have dated underage people. If you didn't know, now you know. There's a lot of people that have done this, so we'll break this down into a couple parts. Today we'll start with part 1, and I won't hold you any further. Let's get right into surviving Hollyweird. Recently we did a video on Adina Howard. Shout out to Adina Howard, we love her. In that video we described an entanglement between Adina Howard, Wanya Morris of Boyz II Men, and Brandy Norwood. During this entanglement, Brandy was allegedly dating Wanya Morris first. Adina Howard comes out on the same label. She spends a lot of time with Wanya. All of a sudden they're public with a relationship after everyone already knew that Brandy was in a relationship with Wanya. I never felt the relationship was serious for the simple fact is that at the time, if you didn't know, Brandy was only 16 and Wanya was 22. So why would a 22-year-old grown man be wanting to date a 16-year-old young girl? I never felt it was real. I thought it was more so for image and to keep Brandy popping. At the time, Wanya Morris and the Boyz II Men were a hugely successful group. Brandy was hugely successful, so it's just, why not? They're on the same label. Let's put them together and make people think they're dating so that people will root for them and support them. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book, but once again, Wanya always said that he was never dating Brandy. And the reason Wanya said that was because he got a lot of backlash for it. A lot of people frowned upon the fact that he was 22 years old dating someone so young. People felt that he should find somebody his age. And Wanya felt that he didn't need to because he was never dating Brandy. But if that was true, then why did all of the energy go towards Adina Howard? Why did Brandy want Adina Howard removed? Why did she want to end this woman's career if she wasn't taking it personal? Meaning that she's taking it personal because she's dating Wanya, and now this woman is running around doing the same thing. So let's get into Brandy and Wanya. Wanya Morris denies dating Brandy underage. Boyz II Men star Wanya Morris has denied dating Brandy when she was underage. Rumors swirled for years that Brandy dated Wanya when she was 16 and he was 22. The singer took to Instagram Live to speak on the rumors, saying Wanya's quote, "Brandy and I were friends in the beginning. Her mother reached out to me as well as my manager reached out to Brandy because Brandy was such a big fan of mine. I was young at the time. I wasn't 30 nothing." He continued, "So what happened is she became kind of like my little protege. I'm actually the one who introduced her to Vita Spears and Ralph. They came to us to actually do a TV show on UPN Network, and I said, well, you know, Brandy's down the hallway and she was the one on the Thea show. The show came to fruition. My mom and I wrote the theme song to Brandy's show, so Brandy and I were really, really close." He then said that after Brandy came of age, they realized they had feelings for each other. He explained, "Once she turned of age, we had been hanging around each other so much that there was some sort of connection, an intimate connection. We actually fell in love. Now we were young. That's what happens. You're young and you fall in love, especially when you have the ability to be around someone a lot." According to Wanya, things ended because he and Brandy outgrew each other. According to singer Adina Howard, Brandy and Wanya broke up because he fell in love with Adina.
Should I just
tell the story?
I'm going to tell the story. We like stuff like this, especially when people don't have any idea. Okay. Okay, so check this out. Brandy and I were friends in the beginning. Her mother and reached out to me, as well as my manager reached out to Brandy because Brandy was a big fan of of mine. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, because this young lady was pretty cool. Now I was young at the time. I wasn't 30 nothing. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. Hold on one second. Can we keep it down? Because I can't hear. All right. So what happened is, we actually, she became kind of like my little protege. You know what I mean? I'm actually the one that introduced her to Vita Spears and Ralph Fuqua. They came to us to actually do a TV show on the UPN network. And I said, well, Brandy's down the hallway, and she's basically she was on the Thea show. Okay, cool. Introduced her to that. The show came to fruition. My mom and I wrote the theme song to the Brandy show. So Brandy and I were really, really close. Once she turned of age, we had been hanging around each other so much. We've been hanging around each other so much that there became to be some sort of connection, an intimate connection. We actually fell in love. Now, we were young. That's what happens. You're young and you fall in love. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you have the ability to be around somebody a lot, you begin to know things about them. You know what I mean? And they know things about you. Now, when you're young, you make decisions based on your youth. You know what I'm saying? You don't make decisions, moral decisions that put you in a whole position where you know that this is what's going to be for the rest of your life. You're learning through everything. And Brandy and I learned through a lot. When it came time for Brandy to go on her prom, she was my girlfriend. Kobe Bryant was graduating from high school that year. Brandy was my girlfriend. She had just graduated from Pepperdine, and her mom and I, we both made it so that Brandy was able to go on tour. On the prom with Kobe Bryant. Okay. When it came time for Brandy to introduce herself to the world, I'm the one that actually put her on the Boys to Men tour. Okay, so she was with me. She was my friend, and we became intimate in a relationship. There's no lie going on here. You can ask Brandy; she will tell you the same story. Relax on what you think, because I know, because I lived it, and so did Brandy. As time progressed, we grew out of each other. Yes. It was a hurtful thing. It was a hurtful thing to break up. That's what happens. You're in a relationship and then you break up. She grew out of me and I grew out of her. Might have grown out of her a little bit faster, but it's a relationship. You're young and you make decisions. Next thing you know, that's what it is. Brandy's successful, Boys to Men is successful, and we're happy. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. We are happy. So whoever is there saying, all kinds of crazy stuff like they know, you know what I mean? Regardless of anything, my age, her mother was definitely, a part of our relationship. Her mother and father was a part of our relationship. They allowed me to guide Brandy and to help her through her career. They understood that we had grown close, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So understand that for a fact, whoever it is on there, that life happens. That's just what it is. So now you have your answer and you have your understanding. If you care to listen, you care to believe it, I don't care. I know the truth, and everybody else does too. All right. So
let's break this down. Wanya had been dating Brandy allegedly since she was 16 years old, because that's when he was around her. They were taking a lot of pictures together. They were seeing a lot of places together, dinners and other places. So people just assumed that they were dating, and they didn't make it any easier by them being so close. At the time, Wanya was 22 and Brandy was 16. Wanya stated that later on in life that they got together. So after Wanya got her the show from Moesha, after he did the theme song from Moesha, it seems like you're dating. Like, you helped your girlfriend get a show, you helped your girlfriend with the theme song. That's just the way it looks. So even if he didn't want it to look that way, it definitely did, and the world viewed it the same way. Wanya states that he waited until Brandy became of age, or an age of consent, which 16 technically is the age of consent, but he said he waited until she became an adult. How do we know that? That's why it's better to stay away, especially being super close to a minor, because if you do date that person later on in life, it does seem a little sketchy. It's like, well, when did this start? How long have you liked her? How long have you had feelings for her? Because if you can have feelings for a 16-year-old, you can have feelings for a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old. I mean, them being able to consent shouldn't draw an attraction. Like, oh, well, she's 16, she's able to consent, I can be attracted to her. No. That means that even if she wasn't 16 and she was 15 or 14 and still look the same, because a 14-year-old can be mistaken as a 16-year-old, you know, and vice versa. So how do we know that? How do we know that you don't really like them young if you're willing to date a 16-year-old, you're willing to date a 14-year-old? You know, that's just how most people look at it. So it is kind of predatorial, you know, to be older, you know, well into your 20s, approaching 25, and you're still looking at 15, 16-year-olds. You know, it is a little creepy. So he couldn't get away from the rumors, and he tried his hardest to. He couldn't get away from the rumors because they were true. So, but Brandy took the relationship more serious than Wanya. I believe from the start, Brandy had a huge crush on him, always wanted to be with him. He invited her around him, and he reciprocated that same energy, but did it in private, while Brandy wanted to do it in public. Then you have Adina Howard coming into the picture, somebody that's closer to Wanya's age. They can be public, nobody's frowning upon it. The only issue that people took with Wanya and Adina Howard dating is that he was allegedly dating Brandy. And at that time, Brandy was of age. So it wasn't like, oh, well, he's dating a 16-year-old. No, she was a grown woman, you know, at the time that Adina came around. So I do believe that there may be a story here that Wanya is just not willing to tell, but let me know what you think in the comments, and we will move right along. Another artist that has done this has been the rapper Tyga. When he and Kylie Jenner first got together, it was very suspect. A lot of people had a lot to say about it, including celebrities like Drake and Nicki Minaj. A lot of people did not like the fact that he was dating Kylie Jenner at such a young age, although they denied it. So let's get into the timeline of Kylie Jenner and Tyga. Kylie Jenner and Tyga used to drive fans wild with their "are they or aren't they" relationship after getting together in 2014. There were engagement and breakup rumors. They appeared on each other's Instagram accounts. They shot down pregnancy rumors, and they took their relationship to the next level. Hashtag Snapchat. Hands up if you remember that video of Kylie kissing Tyga's grill. Even though it's all over now, let's take a look and see how Tyga came to be. November 2011. Kendall Jenner's Sweet 16 birthday party is one of the first encounters between Kylie and Tyga. The latter performed for the very underage crowd, including 14-year-old Kylie. July 2014. Tyga makes many Tyga fans believe it's his first appearance on Kylie's Instagram feed. Kendall and Chris Brown are there to hang out too. August 2014. Tyga celebrates Kylie's 17th birthday, even offers her a shot of tequila while she's dancing on some platform. Days later, Tyga ends his engagement to baby mama Blac Chyna 2 years after welcoming their son, King Cairo. September 2014. Tyga responds to the rumors he's dating Kylie. Tyga's quote on Instagram: "Don't believe the rumors. Been friends with the family forever. We're all just friends." October 2014. Kylie makes one of her first appearances on Tyga's Instagram account, and the two celebrate Halloween together. Despite this giant step in their relationship, Kris Jenner says Kylie isn't dating anybody. In an interview with Ryan Seacrest, the momager insists that Kylie's just hanging around with friends that she has been around forever. November 2014. Tyga reportedly pulls out of an appearance at Greystone Manor in Los Angeles after Kylie is refused entry because she's only 17, and 17-year-olds cannot get into clubs in this country. Weeks later, Tyga and Kylie, who are still officially friends at this point, spend Thanksgiving together. December 2014. Kylie hits 3 birds with one tweet. "I'm not trying to become a rapper, I'm not getting married, and I'm not pregnant," says Kylie Jenner. Tyga and his friend Kylie visited Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. The sweet visit, which included meet and greets with patients and gifts, later appears on an episode of Tyga's MTV show, Kinging with Tyga. February 7th, 2015. Tyga and Kylie spend their first Grammys weekend together by partying with Big Sean, Jennifer Lopez, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, and others. Here's the still unconfirmed couple coupling it up at the Grammys after party with Kendall and Chloe. February 13th, 2015. Drake's surprise drops If You're Reading This It's Too Late, which includes the song 6 p.m. in New York. The lyric, "You need to act your age and not your girl's age," makes everyone think Drizzy is talking about Tyga. Meanwhile, Amber Rose joins in on the already crowded conversation and also slams Tyga. She tells The Breakfast Club he should be ashamed of himself. "That's how I feel for sure. He has a beautiful woman and a baby and left that for a 16-year-old who just turned 17. Like, nah." This is a long timeline, so to jump forward, Tyga started claiming Kylie around 2015, August 2015, or when she turned 18. He did a special birthday message to her. He also bought her a really expensive vehicle. He went on a vacation with the family, the Kardashian family, to St. Bart's. He also dropped a line in the song Stimulated that says, "They say she young, I should have waited. She's a big girl dog when she's stimulated." So that was just to wrap things up. Like, they tried to keep it a secret. It wasn't a secret. Clearly you have been dating this girl for quite some time. People speculate that it started when she was around 15 is when it really started, when they got like sexual and, you know, things like that. But still at the same time, Tyga was an adult. He was engaged to Black China. They had a son and all of that. And he left those things for a life that he thought would be better and more lucrative by dating an underage girl. So it's no secret. The Kardashians at the beginning, no different than Kris, stating, oh, they're not dating. She's not dating anyone. She's not dating anybody. And then later on, they come out, oh, well, Kylie's not the normal 17-year-old. So it's like all of y'all knew that she was underage, dating and sleeping with a grown man, like as from the age of 15. Why isn't this a problem? Why say Tyga should be locked up? Every Kardashian should be arrested. Kris Jenner especially should be arrested because they all knew. It's impossible not to know, as close as this family says they are, to not know that Tyga, a grown man, is dating a 15-year-old. Like, this is crazy. But Tyga's definitely underneath those umbrella of men that have dated underage girls as a celebrity. They date celebrity young women. They don't care. I guess age ain't nothing but a number. So moving right along, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that Kylie and Tyga were dating at the age when she was 15, or do you think it started when she was 16, or do you think it truly started when she was 18? Let me know what you think in the comments. The next person on the list is a little sensitive because he passed away, so rest in peace. But Paul Walker has been known to date underage women as well, so let's get into that. It's been years since Paul Walker's tragic death in 2013. But he is still a beloved figure among fans for his role in the Fast and Furious films and for being an all-around nice guy. So when his daughter Meadow shared a never-before-seen clip of her father and subsequently brought fans to tears, it dug up a complicated yet little discussed aspect of Paul Walker's legacy, his history of dating teenage girls. While people may know Paul Walker for Fast and Furious, his bromance with Vin Diesel and his love of cars, many might not know about his personal life beyond him having a daughter with his ex-girlfriend, Rebecca. At the time of his death, Paul was 40 and dating Jasmine Goshnell, who was 23. The 17-year gap is a bit, but nothing we haven't seen before in Hollywood. But what does make this relationship problematic is when they first met, In Touch Weekly pointed out that Paul started dating Jasmine when she was 16 and he was 33. The couple were living together at the time of his death. Not only was Paul dating a teenage girl, but the age of consent in California where they lived is 18, meaning Jasmine was a minor when they started dating. Make that what you will. For Jasmine, Paul dated another woman, Aubrina Atwell, when he was 28, according to a 2013 interview with the Las Vegas Sun. When she was 28, the pair had known each other for dozens of years at that time. Paul had dated her for on and off 7 years and remained in each other's lives ever since. Going backwards, this means Aubrina was also 16 when she first met Paul. While there's no concrete proof of Paul having sexual relations with any of these women while they were underage or teenage girls, it's worth pointing out very little attention was given to these relationships beyond a few pieces from outlets like Study Breaks and others. This was particularly noticeable when the I Am Paul Walker documentary came out and they dived into a little more of his love of cars and being a good bloke. Surely his relationships are something worth looking into, putting together a documentary about his life. It's definitely worth asking why Paul Walker's relationships with teenage girls was swept under the rug, because this is just another example of people turning away when a Hollywood star is doing something incredibly sus. Never easy to talk about a complicated legacy for a beloved celebrity who is no longer with us. But leaving out darker aspects of someone's past is just to paint them in a good light, does everyone an untruthful disservice. It's complicated, and that's okay. Who can remember Paul for being a nice guy, for all the entertainment he's brought to people with the Fast and Furious movies, and for what his daughter has done to preserve his memory in the years after his death. But we also can't forget the more complicated parts of his past when he dated teenage girls, or will risk normalizing this sort of problematic behavior. So once again, rest in peace to Paul Walker. Shout out to him and his family. We love his daughter Meadow. She has nothing to do with nothing. But we have to call a thing a thing. We have to call a spade a spade. And in this situation, Paul Walker dating 16-year-old girls, to me, is predatorial. Like I said, God rest his soul, and this isn't to speak ill on him, but that is predatorial. If you keep consistently going after 16-year-olds, that means that you want younger. You do 16 because in most places it's the age of consent. And in California, that rule does not apply. So these men make it seem like they're not sexual with these girls until they turn 18 because they're not attracted to them sexually until they turn 18. That is a lie, because if you're sleeping with them at 18 but you have been around them since 16, people are just going to assume that that's what you were doing. And if you like 18-year-olds or girls 18 and up, then why not just date that right out the bat? Why start dating her at 16 and there's nothing going on here, nothing to see here, don't look over here, nothing to see, and then when they turn 18, they're loud and proud with the relationship, but want to be extremely secretive before, oh, we're just friends. What does a 33-year-old have in common with a 16-year-old? When Paul Walker was 28 and he dated Obrina, what does a 28-year-old have in common with a 16-year-old? Like, this is a pattern. So for it to be a pattern, it means that Paul Walker's behavior was very problematic, and it doesn't need to be looked over, because we don't need to normalize adult men dating 16-year-olds. Like, that's not okay. It's not okay for a woman that is an adult over the age of 21, especially, and whatnot, to be well, anybody over 18, I would say. You need to be under 18 if you're going to date under 18. But it's not okay for a woman to do it either. A grown woman to be dating a 16-year-old or something. Like, no, find somebody your age. And if you don't find someone your age, or you find someone that is particularly younger than you, then it means that that's what you like. Not that you like younger, because younger can be 20, 21, 25, 26. Like, all of that is young too. Why do you have to go so low within the numbers? Pretty much as low as you can go without being put on a radar. So if you go under 16, people are going to know that you have a problem. But if you go 16 and up, then it's like, I'm not that. No, you still are problematic. This is still an issue. So once again, let me know what you think in the comments. Shout out to Paul Walker and his family. But again, this was very problematic behavior. So until the next video, I love you all. We will be back soon with a part 2. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video, and I'll see you the next one. Bye. Flex.